There's another bit that needed flatting. Some deep bird etching, and wouldn't come out even with a wool mop, so I've just knocked it down. Actually I can still see some scar there, so I'll flat it a bit more and then polish it up. Well, I've come to polish the top of the bumper, and as usual it is really badly scratched. Now this scratching is down to wiping the dirt when they're washing it, rubbing up to the tailgate and pulling it along the bumper, and it is deep. So it looks like I'm going to have to get the flatting paper out, because the wall pad is just not touching it. You can see the difference in the side that I haven't touched yet, and then I've really done a heavy cut on this side and it's not touching it. Whether I can flat them all out is another thing, but I'm going to have a go. You know, if I can get 70% of it, it won't look so bad. So we've got to be realistic about what we can do. You know, there's a couple that are really deep. I think you might just be able to see it. You know, and they're the sort of thing that just aren't going to come out. But I'll see if I can get some of the lighter bits off. It'll still look better. So I'm going to get the flatting paper out again. So I'll see you soon. Right, as you can see, I've now flatted the entire top of the bumper. I'm going to give it a polish now, see what it looks like. See you soon. Hello everybody. Well, I've spent about an hour and a half on this bumper. The scratches was really deep, so I've had to flat really deep, which has meant it's taken multiple flatting marks out, but the work was worth it. It's actually come out better than I thought it would. With a great finish, and actually got more of the marks than I thought it would. It's coming along a treat. But you budding detailers out there, if you're going to start wet flatting, you need to reassess the amount of hours you're going to spend polishing, because once you get the flatting paper out, you can multiply the time by about 4. You know, it's sometimes can be a long process to get your finish back, depending on how deep you flat. So I'm very pleased with how that looks now. And I've still got the rest of the bumper to do. I've done this corner. Might as well show you the side of the car. This is the side that's now complete. So I've done the bonnet, the roof, all of this side, and I'm now going round the rear tailgate and bumper. Pleased with how it's coming. It looks top drawer. You know, it's a job that I'm really pleased with, but it is taking longer than expected because of these odd nibbing and flatting. This hasn't been a nib, this has been a proper flat, but the result's well worth it. Right then, I'll see you on the next one. Just going to apply the ceramics to the brake calipers. Just got to leave it for a minute before I buff it off. This will give it time for the chemical reaction that'll bond it to the caliper. I don't want to take it all off soon as I've put it on. Right, give it a little dust off. And there we go. One done, 3 to go. As I was saying, the shinier you start getting it, the more that all the scratches or the deeper scratches will show up. Before I started polishing this panel, these wasn't visible, and there you go. Possibly gonna have to nib these out, they're quite bad. Right, see you soon. Hi, I've got the wheel on the wheel stand. It's all been cleaned, panel wiped, and is squeaky clean, ready to receive its G-Technic C5 wheel armour. This will give it good protection for over a year and make it easier to clean. So most of you have seen me apply this before, but I will show a bit of this wheel for the owner of the car to see, but I won't be showing all the wheels because it's just repetition. Right, I'll get myself ready and we'll be off. Right, I've just done the barrel of the wheel and I'm just loading this piece of microfiber that I've cut off a towel. For this application I find a little bit of microfiber with it on is better than trying to apply it with the applicator block. Right, so basically most of you have seen this applied before, and we're just going to make sure that we coat all the surfaces and get into the nooks and crannies. And once this is gone off a little bit, we'll just be buffing the excess off. We're not going to try and polish a finish or anything with it, we don't need to do that. Like I say, most of you have seen this done umpteen times because nearly every job that I do has this. But we're just going to make sure that we don't miss anywhere. Makes it easier when you come to clean the car, and does help the wheel stay cleaner much longer. These, by the way, are 22-inch wheels. They are big, but when you've seen the size of the brake calipers, it's no surprise they needed a big wheel to cover it. So they are big. Make sure we give the badge a tickle. And basically that's all there is to see with this job. Coat it, buff it off, job done. Takes longer to clean the wheel and prepare it than it does to apply it, but that's all part and parcel of the job. And probably a lot of the time these are bits that nobody actually sees done. You know, you see the befores and afters and they always look very nice, but showing the amount of work it's taken to get cars looking like detailers get them is a lot of effort, a lot of graft. It's not an easy job, you know, it's not done in 5 minutes. And I'm sure you'll know by my videos, if you've watched them, that none of my jobs get done, you know, in a couple of days. And it's because I want them to go out as good as they could possibly be. Right, that's the application. And it always amazes me that even though these wheels have been cleaned multiple times, we still seem to drag something out from somewhere. Right, I'm just going to give these a light buff now, removing the residue, and that will be finished and ready to refit. And one of the questions I had is, does the ceramic change the finish of the coatings? Well, no, it doesn't. It does enhance the finish, I believe. Like, these are a satin finish, and it does make it slightly darker, and you know, you could say it's actually glossing it, but it hasn't glossed it. The ceramics take on the characteristic of the material or paint that it's going on to. So, you know, if you was putting it on satin parts on the car, they would still look satin, as opposed to the gloss parts of the car. So on the gloss parts it's glossy, on the satin parts it's just a deeper satin. It doesn't actually make them glossy, so you know, the products don't change the way the car looks, but I believe they enhance the way the car looks. You know, this gunmetal colour here is standing out far more than it did when it was just clean. And there we are, one wheel, protected, cleaned and looking good, ready to be refitted. Right, like I say, I'm not going to show you all four of them, because it'll just be the same thing over and over again. But like I say, the owners probably never saw this applied, so it's for him and anybody else that's enjoying watching. So I'll see you a bit later on the next bit. This is an example of where your feet catch the sill covers when you're getting out of the car. Creates some quite bad scratching, which I'm about to remove. Rear quarter and rear near side door and sill is all done to a finish, and I'm now moving on to the passenger door, starting at the sill and working my way up. So I'll get on with this, see what it looks like later. And there's the results from the sill. Now we've got quite a few scratches to deal with on the doors, and certainly the front wing has been battered. The door has got plenty of scratches as well, probably not showing up as well as I could show them, I suppose, but you get the general idea of what we're dealing with. and this is all bad washing. Right, let's crack on. I've just started doing some heavy cutting on the top of this near side front wing. Very hard to see, but there's some real deep and long scratches in the panel. I think I can polish them out, but what I've done, because there's a raised area here, I've run the tape along that edge, because not only do I not want the pad to hit it, but because it's so prominent, it's quite a deep. The backing plate of the polisher may touch, and I don't want to do that, so just by running a little bit of tape across it is going to protect me from all them nasties that could happen. So you've got to practice what you preach, but now I've got to cut these scratches out. Right, I'll see you on the next one.